Hey, it's a great day to play. I have bought some Red Heart Granny Square all-in-one yarn, which is supposed to create a granny square, eliminating the need to bind off and change colors. Now, years ago, Red Heart came out with Plan Pooling yarn, and that has been my nemesis. I cannot get the hang of Plan Pooling. And when that yarn came out, I just ran and got some and then came home and tried it. And guess what? I still can't do Plan Pooling. Anyway, I have high hopes for this one. So would you like to come play with me today? Let's work a granny square together and see if this yarn lives up to what it promotes. Okay, so here is the yarn label. Yarnspirations Red Heart Granny All-in-One Square. And it comes with a pattern on the back. It tells you the sizes that it's written for. And it is a granny square cardigan. Let's see. So it is a weight 4, and it suggests that we use an eye hook. Yeah. So it suggests a 5.5 millimeter eye hook. My suspicion is that you have to go exactly by the pattern, exactly by the hook size, and you're going to have to probably adjust your tension several times to get it right, because nobody's tension is the same as the next person's. So we're going to start this pattern. It says, all right, so you're supposed to begin with the center pull and the shortest color. Now what I've done is I've pulled out all 5 different colors represented in my skein so far, and it turns out that the very end where I pulled out is the shortest. So I'm going to chance that this is the center color that I need to begin with, and it also specifies that we need to leave a 4-inch tail. So we're going to have to measure that. I mean, I'm going to try to be just as exact as I can. All right. So I put a slip knot on my hook, and I have, now it has a little bit of white at the very end here. I'm going to not count that in my measurement and look at just the 4 inches of this color that I'm going to begin working in. And I'm just a hair over. I'm going to go ahead and shorten that just a little bit. All right, I think that's close enough for horseshoes. And then it says to chain 4. And slip stitch to the first stitch, so the first chain, to create a circle. All right, and then it says for round 1, we're going to begin with a chain 6. Okay, I hate this way of starting, I can tell you right off the bat, because 3 of those chains is going to count as a double crochet. The other 3 count for the corner space of 3, and that's just too much for me. I'd rather have two chains in the corner. But let's see. So then it says 3 doubles and a chain 3. So we're gonna crochet 3 doubles. See, we're going to work all the way around and come back around to that initial chain and put 2 to finish that little cluster there. And then, so there's my first cluster, full cluster, chain 3. And we're going to do that I'm hoping that I can get all of these clusters made before the next color begins. So there's 2 sides created. Chain 3. And got this camera a little too close. I keep hitting it with my hook. Back it off here in just a moment. And there is my 1, 2, 3 sides. I need to chain 3 again. 2, 3. And now I need to crochet 2 doubles into my center circle to include with this initial chain 3 as my 3rd double. So there's 1, and there's 2. Oop, my tail came through. There we go. All right, and then it says to slip stitch to the 3rd chain. So 1, 2, 3. And we're gonna slip stitch there. Hey, I made it. I made it. Let's see, the next step, slip stitch into the chain 3 space. Okay. Uh-oh. And you can see after my first round, I still have this color left. So if I have too much color left, I need to take the whole thing out and crochet a little looser to take up that space. So I'm going to back this camera off just a little bit so my hook quits hitting it. All right. Attempt number 2 for the center. So I'm going to take that out. I need to crochet more loosely. I'm going to try just taking out that far and see if I can make my stitches a little bigger. So we're going to go a little bit more loosely. There's 1, 2, 3, and I want to chain 3. 1, 2, 3, and now 2 more doubles, a little bit more loosely. There we go. And then a slip stitch into the 3rd chain. Hey, there we go. I think I made it that time. Yep. And then we're going to slip stitch into the chain 3 space, which begins me on the white. Perfect. All right. Says chain 6, so we're going to start with that beginning again. All right, and then we're going to 3 doubles in the same chain 3 space. So we're going to make 3 doubles. I'll try to keep my tension a little bit bigger since I had to go bigger on the center portion of it. And we are chaining 1 to jump the sides. And then 1, 2, 3, and chain 3 for the corners. And my next granny cluster, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to jump to the next corner. The anticipation is killing me. Am I going to make it or not this time? I should like start a rolling bet, huh? For every round. See what the odds are. Yep, try that one again. Okay, so that's 2.5 corners made. Chain 1. I'm really trying to crochet my stitches bigger. It really forces you to change your tension, you know, and you do that throughout the things that you crochet. Sometimes you have no choice. You have to, but it's usually just for a short distance. But with this, I'm going to have to adjust my tension throughout the entire project to make things fit. Uh-oh, here comes the brown, this wheat color. Let's see. Chain 1, and I gotta get, no, I didn't make it. I crocheted too loosely. Look at that. Let me get this finished. So look at how much so this time I overcompensated. I was not able to finish round 2 in the white. All right, so let's try again. We're gonna frog it out. Wanna watch it frog? That's always relaxing. So I've got to go tighter on this stitch, this round. All right, attempt 2 for round 2. I overcompensated and crocheted much too loose the last round, so I'm going to tighten things up a little bit. Okay. Which is going to be closer to my natural tension. I want to try that and see if I can fit it in. I was about 2 full stitches and a slip stitch short on my first attempt to get this second round correct. Let me back this away a little bit from the camera. There we go. Maybe that'll be a little better. Chain 1. Chain 3. Another cluster. Okay, chain 1. And I have 2 more doubles to make. And I see the brown sneaking up on me. Is it gonna do it? And then I need to slip stitch to the 3rd chain. Whew, I think I did it. And that little, there we go. There's round 2. You can see that my wheat is just coming into play up here. All right, for the next round, we have to slip stitch into the chain 3 space, which begins the wheat. There it is, right there, the loop on my hook. And once again, we will chain 6. And I'm going to try to stick with my natural tension for this round and see if I can't get it to work for my first attempt. Boy, I really hate these beginnings. I just, you just get used to doing something a certain way. And when they want to do a different kind of start or finish, it just really goes against the grain for me. Alrighty. I guess I'm a crochet rebel. I see patterns I like, I get them, and then I immediately start tweaking them. Sometimes to the detriment of the project. Sometimes it doesn't always work out, and I have to start over. I did that to a tunic pattern one year. I loved the pattern, started making it for myself and kind of tweaked some areas. And when I got done with it, it actually fit my granddaughter, who was probably about 8 at the time. So bad news is I didn't get my tunic. Good news is the granddaughter scored a beautiful purple tunic to wear. But I like exploring and seeing what works and what doesn't. You never know. You might come up with something really cool. Alrighty, so far so good. We're gonna keep on moving around. I'm reaching my last, second to last corner. Again, I'm kind of tightening back up my tension. I sure hate to frog this row. A lot of stitching. Alrighty, if I'm too tight, I'm gonna have a lot left over. Alright, last side cluster. 1, 2, I see it coming. 3, and I actually crocheted tight this time. Alright, and I have 2 more doubles to make, and the color change is right there. So let's see if I can make it fit. So we've got 1 and a 2, and it changed on me. Okay. Not by much. That means I need to tighten it up even more. Ooh, and I forgot my chain 1 here. So let's go back. Let me tighten up this last one, see if I can get it a little bit tighter. And the way you can tighten it is not pull your hook all the way up. So on this portion of the stitch, just stop short, then pull through. You know, instead of like coming all the way up here, which you would normally do, stop way down here. And that'll give you a little bit more room to work with. When I'm running out of yarn for a project and I'm on the last row and I'm playing yarn chicken, that's what I do. I just shorten my stitches. There we go, 1. Oh, am I gonna make it? 2. And a slip stitch. Just my slip stitches in a different color. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back it up a little bit more. And I'm going to do these last 2 stitches of the corner way over here a little tighter. So I won't pull it up quite as high. So 1, yeah, my doubles aren't all going to be the same. same height. Let's see if that will give me just the amount of space that I need with the length. All right, here we come. Remember, short and short. There we go. And this is my third one, so 1, 2, 3. And I'm gonna pull through. Oh my goodness, I did it. Okay. So you can see that this is a lot harder. It's not as, you know, hey, buy our yarn and you can make a granny square without having to bind off and put ends in. But you can see that you have to try several different times before you can get the tension right. Yeah, I probably won't work with it. That's my ultimate, because I, for one, don't want to spend as much time as I just did frogging something I've already made. I would much rather bind off and weave in the ends. And that is saying a lot, because I absolutely hate weaving in ends, but I definitely probably hate frogging more. So my, let me finish the square and then I'll give you my sum up. So, as you can see, I have tried 4 different times now to try to get the last round to end up on the cream. And the first time I missed it by like 3 doubles, so I backed it up a couple. Didn't work. I backed it all the way up to this corner, didn't work. Then I frogged it all the way back to this one and kept crocheting my doubles tighter and tighter. And you can see that I just missed it again. So to get this to join just in the cream, I'm probably going to have to pull all the way back out to here and try for my 5th time to make it around this round in the cream. And so my review of Granny Square all-in-one. Here's one with the label, which I'll probably take back to the store. I think that says it all. So I'm disappointed in it. You know, I was really hoping that, you know, I would start with the center and just keep going with no issues and, you know, boom, 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 and have a great granny square, but that didn't happen. As it was, I had to frog every single round. Some of them twice, sometimes 4 times, and even this last round, I've got to go back a 5th time again so I can make sure I end up on this cream color instead of the gray that is started right here. Another thing that I thought of is that you're finishing so close to the end of a color. So if I bound off, if I do this 5th round again and I bind off, ready to start another square with this gray, I've got to leave about a 4 or 5 inch tail to weave in, so I'm taking up part of the gray that will be going into the center of my next granny square. Now, I haven't tried this yet to see, you know, if I run short or not, but that did occur to me. The other thing is if, let's say you wanted to make a blanket, and you wanted to continue this square bigger and bigger, the color lengths are all the same length. So the bigger your blanket gets, for example, when you return back to the gray color, you're going to need more gray to get all the way around the blanket if you want a full gray stripe going around the blanket. So if you're very concise with your color changes, meaning you don't have color changes in the middle of a round, but only at the end of every round, this would not be your choice to go to create a blanket. It is only good for this 5 round granny square with an eye hook and finding the correct tension. So I think, what else? I definitely don't like the way the pattern's written for the start. You heard me kind of talking about that while I was making it. This 6 chain start, you can see how it's just doesn't fit with the double crochets next to it. It's ugly, it sticks out. So I don't know, I may play with this a little bit and change the start and the finish and determine how much length of a color I have left. I also, if I do that, would take away one of the chains in the corner and make 2 chain corners instead of 3. That would give me a little extra room to play with, but you know, maybe I wouldn't have to tighten down so hard if I took away those stitches, you know, and used my own tension throughout. So I think my final sum up is that this yarn is a great in concept. I mean, who wouldn't want, you know, to eliminate 10 tails to weave in at the end of a granny square? Me. But you're trading off frogging, you know, rounds 2, 3, 4, and sometimes 5 times just to get it right. By the time that I frogged all of these rounds, I could have made a second granny square. And that's not fun. That's frustrating, and it's not enjoyable. I don't think this yarn is for me. The frogging alone so many times kind of ruins it for me. I'll probably hook up something and donate it with, you know, with this yarn here to some charity, but for myself, no, I don't think I'll use it. Well, I hope this has been informative for you. Thank you for following along. I do suggest go ahead and get a skein. Who knows, maybe you'll be able to zip right around it and it works for you. You just don't know until you try it. You may love it. All right, signing off. By the Stitch, where creativity builds community.